I can't hear
Hey,
you
Corey.
though. Hey, there you are.
Sorry, dude. I'm
Not at
like I
all.
said, I'm such a Luddite, and I was like, I got locked out. I mean, like, I'm using my girlfriend's Zoom account because I was
Okay.
like, I was like,
I thought you didn't look like a
I actually
Sarah.
locked myself out. What's that, dude?
I thought you didn't look like a Sarah.
Yeah, I had weekends. Man.
Very cool, man. How you been?
Yeah, I'm all right. How are you?
Yeah, doing okay.
You got a better background than me. Has to be said.
Well, this is my shed, man.
Oh,
This is
nice.
where I operate. Yeah.
That's what you get if you're outside of town. So you get a bit more
I
room
get
for
yeah,
respect.
you're absolutely right. Yeah. It's
This
part
is
of the reason
basically
we
my whole house. What you see
that's
here.
that's right. That's right. The bathroom and the kitchen.
Oh,
It's a
yeah,
combination. Yeah. It's good.
yeah.
Excellent. So,
Um,
how's business been and everything? You guys clicking
yeah,
through?
we've been good. Actually, pretty busy. Um, you know, uh, as obviously there's no restaurants, but shops are kind of caning it, and there's a new natty wine shop every half an hour. It feels like.
Yeah. Like I think
Um,
there's three more down here that are just opening up or something.
sure.
Like
I mean,
real soon.
it's like I think also people kind of had time and a bit more money to think about what they're drinking, and
Yeah.
you know, it's like it was always going to happen. But I think what's happened over the last years really accelerated sort of natural wine hitting the mainstream to an extent.
I think you're absolutely right. Yeah.
Just not just in Hackney and little pockets of
Yeah.
elsewhere, but like, yeah, it feels like it's out there. And like, I've got mates who have never been interested before who are like, oh, so, you're like, okay.
Yeah,
Yes,
and
I can
people
source you
people
some
are
orange wine, mate.
that's it's I guess the danger is everybody thinks they know all about it. And I mean like I am the first one to say, natural wine is one of those things that I've been maybe slow on the uptake is the is the right kind of way. Just kind of it's been there. I've been aware of it, and I've kind of like enjoyed it in little bits and pieces. Especially as a sommelier, you get used to the same kind of flavors that kind of go over everything. And then once you get into a bottle of natural wine, that's like
Yeah,
really
it's kind of
earth driven
exciting,
and
right?
stuff.
It
Yeah,
can be quite like, yeah, I mean, like, so I don't know, I probably don't know, but like, I've worked in a range of kind of restaurant environments from really quite like, so I started learning about wine at 10 Greek Street.
okay, right
Um,
on. I used to know somebody who worked there. I'm trying to think.
oh, who was that?
Marie.
Marie.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was a few years back. She moved back to France, but she used
Oh,
to
right.
work. Yeah,
Yeah, so
Marie
like,
de Rennes. Yeah. Anyways.
yeah, like Luke's awesome, but is relatively old school.
Hmm.
Um, like he really got me into wine, so I have a lot, and he's a real mentor of mine. But like he always was like, okay, it can be you can put it on the list, but it's got to be, first thing it's got to be good, which
It's got to
obviously
be
I
good
agree
wine.
with.
Yeah.
And and he can deal with a little bit of VA, but I like a bit of sexy VA.
Right.
So
Yeah.
um, and does definitely doesn't like any Brett. Not that I'm a big fan either, to be honest.
I mean, I
Um,
like it. I like the meatiness of it, but once it goes into anything that's overpowering, it's
yeah,
there's no
exactly. Yeah,
way.
it's
There's
not
no
really
way
for
for
me
me.
either.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I worked at Portland,
Yeah.
which is
Sure.
like a starred restaurant in town. So got and Will's mum is Jancis Robinson, so there was a lot of like private
Oh, I
dining
didn't know
things
that.
where
Right on.
yeah.
Very
So
cool.
his dad's obviously Mr. Lander as well, who
Yeah.
used to
Sure.
run what's it almost down the road from 10 Greek Street, Let's Go for many years, and obviously had a
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
big thing with American wine coming to the UK in the 80s.
Yeah.
So I
They were
got to
big
try
on
some
that with that,
amazing
right?
stuff, with them, like sort of Rioja tastings, where it's like wines from 1900 and shit like
Damn.
that. And
Yeah.
you're like going down there, I'll clear that club room.
Yeah. Absolutely. It's things
um,
to fight for in the industry.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah, like, but I've always, yeah, natural wine's exciting, right?
Yeah. I think
Uh,
so. I mean, and
less
the
constrained sometimes, and yeah,
I think the more you get into it, the more you understand it, and I like the variety of expression you can get from a single bottle just by letting it stay open for a little bit too, you know, like it's one of
Sure.
those things like, you know, you at first you get that real big hit sometimes of well, manure, and then and then, you know, and then it settles down and you're like, oh my god, like what happened there, like everything, it's just
Yeah,
all
yeah.
changed, it's this whole like evolution
Sometimes it
of being
goes into
glass.
sync, and sometimes it gets worse.
Yeah, right, exactly. And it is exciting in that way, you know. Maybe a bit more of a gamble than some people like, but you know,
Yeah, that's
hey,
true.
what are you gonna do?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, thank you so much for sending me these bottles. I think it's way
Hey,
cool.
you're welcome.
Of you guys, like that's overly generous, but you know, I'm not complaining for sure.
No,
Um,
no.
but I was just I figured we could kind of just talk through each one of them, and you could give me the the best bits, you know, like the interesting
Yeah,
things
cool.
about each one, because I love how you guys represent Loire Valley. It's, you know, obviously if you're into wine, then it's one of those places that you typically just go to, because it's
Yeah, Alex
delicious.
apologizes for not joining as well at the minute, but he
That's all
might be
right.
with us
Okay, cool.
shortly. He's just having a bit of a nightmare on the old roads, which is
Oh,
seem to
okay.
be getting busier again.
Yeah, yeah. People are
But
starting to
yeah, he's
ignore
out.
things.
Yeah, we've kind of, yeah, exactly. It's like you're not all driving to work. Like also, I just came back on the bus from going into town a bit, and it's just like the amount of kids and shit not wearing masks is just like, oh.
Yeah, there was some
Because I was
people.
running a bit late, I was like, I better jump on the bus, and I was like, oh fuck.
Right, exactly. It's like,
I mean,
where's my
yeah, just
hazmat suit? Let's
ensconce
just
yourself.
that's right.
Yeah,
I mean, I guess the vaccines are coming out, so that's exciting. But you know, it's well, everyone knows it's a crazy time, you know.
yeah, for sure.
So,
Hey, man.
what my idea is we'll talk about them and just kind of like go through them. It feels kind of weird me not having a glass of wine in front of me while we're doing this, so I'm gonna Coravan one, just
Yeah, you
cause,
go
you
for it.
know. I was gonna Coravan the
I might have an open beer quickly. I'll be back in a moment.
yeah, octopus. Is this a good one?
Wait, what? Wait, where are we? So let me just double check what we got.
I was gonna Coravan a red because I don't have any of the whites cold, but so I've got the Flora, I've got the Les Changemous,
Yeah.
and then I've got the octopus.
All right.
What would you
I
say?
mean, it doesn't really matter what you open now, right?
Yeah.
Why don't you go for the Flora just because I was out with the Brown brothers in the summer, so I got a nice little
Awesome.
bit of personal sort of experience with them,
Yeah, and
which is quite
I've
nice.
only tried the wilder sats from them, so I
You got a
think
sense? Yeah, cool. Yeah, yeah.
which
All right, back in a moment.
yeah, go for it. Nice. What you got there?
This guy
Okay. Cool.
from there's like a shop down the road where it's run by some old dude, and it's like a how to make your own beer shop.
Okay.
He's got all the kits and stuff, but he's also got loads of literally in the road. But he's got loads of weird beers going on, which is always good fun.
So is it blueberry sour? Is it just made of? I mean, is it from Poland? Where is it?
No, I think no, we're in the UK definitely. Yeah, Little Earth Project in Sudbury, Suffolk.
Oh, cool.
Um,
Amazing.
yeah,
Well, that ought to be interesting.
100% British fruit purees. Yeah, blueberry. So 500 grams per liter of blueberry. Hence why it was like 12 quid in the shop for
Yeah,
375 mil.
that's it. Yeah.
Left for 6 months before bottling. I mean, there's some
Nice.
interesting stuff happening in beer, right?
Well, yeah. I mean, across the way, it's kind of the same thing. It's actually I think what's pushing the natural wine movement as well, which is
Oh, no,
great.
it's good.
Is it? All right.
Yeah,
Little Earth Project. We'll have to check that out.
yeah. Have a look. Cool.
Yeah. So I just
So
so
it's actually a bit mousy.
is it?
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
Mine's not. Mine's lovely.
That's good. So yeah, I mean, how should I? I mean, just want to chat about
Yeah, so I mean, Brand
Tell you
Brothers. So
about
I've had the Wilder Sats, and that's like
Mhm.
that crazy blend with the tea bagging
Yes,
and all
yeah,
the
yes.
nutso.
The debugging, which we're kind of we tell to the right people, but I mentioned to them when I was out there, I was like, just be careful who you
Who you
start
say
throwing
tea
that
bagging?
firm
Yeah,
around to when you come to the UK next time. You know, just watch yourself a little bit
it's a
because
veritable orgy of Germanic grapes, you know, and
yeah. Well, I
it's
mean, what's in there? So there's like Riesling, Pinot Gris, Pinot Blanc, Chardonnay, Kerner,
Kerner. Yeah,
Auxerrois. I mean,
yeah.
all sorts of
I
gubbins.
think
Always the
those are the ones that I was listing. Yeah,
mm,
but it's just kind of a crazy blend. And this is Dornfelder, right?
further exactly.
Yeah, cool. And you
Um,
guys have you just gotten this one in?
no, so we've had it for a little bit,
Okay.
um, but it's yeah. I mean, it needed a little bit of time to settle. It was a little bit mad when it arrived, but like these things can happen. Like um, the the Brown Brothers, they reckon they're the largest no sulfur winery in Europe, certainly,
Wow. All right.
potentially the world, because they've got about 22 hectares, all farmed organically. Obviously, everything's hand. I mean, the most important thing for them in general actually is the hand picking,
Oh, sure.
no machine harvest, which yeah was obviously very important. But yeah, no sulfur anywhere near any of the wines. Um, yeah, they work as a good little pair. Daniel's mostly in the winery, and
Okay.
Jonas is mostly in the vineyard. But
Right.
obviously, they're both. Yeah, and that is actually a blend of 3 vintages, I think.
Oh, this one is. Yeah,
Yeah.
you know, I was going to ask the vintage on it, and that makes sense. Okay, that makes sense.
So yeah, I'll tell you the exact numbers. It's 60% of sort of 6 week semi-carbonic, so
Okay.
foot stomped semi-carbo from the 18, and then 40% straight carbonic maceration
Okay.
from the 17. Oh, sorry. Yeah, that's
Wow.
right. Sorry, that's maths, isn't it, right there?
But yeah.
Like,
So that was
that's it.
it's fully carbonic from 17.
Well, yes, exactly, yeah.
Cool. Nice.
Yeah. And the way Daniel and Jonas work in general is that, so I did like a week there, right? This
Yeah.
in August, up at 6 a.m. I mean, they've got a cool setup. It's like, they've got, it's that kind of like a German natural wine seems to be, it's not the same as the sort of French vigneron. In a
Okay.
sense, there's like these families which have had vineyards for a while, and
Sure.
then they've probably got a hotel. I think it's to do with like, the Napoleonic laws and systems of wine making in France, right?
Yep.
But these German ways seem to be that there was a family who ran a winery in town, and then the peasants, I guess, in the old days, would farm their plot of grapes, and then they would sell it to the guy who had the winery in the town.
Sure.
And that's how it's built. So you find these like natural wine guys like Andy Weigand's the same, and Michael Volker at Weinnaturkinder. They've got these family estates, and they're kind of sort of modernizing, but it takes a little time. The mums tend to have a hotel that they run alongside,
Right.
and that kind of thing. So it's definitely a family operation. So Jurgis's dad is there, their dad is there, sort of big chap. He's really jokes, just away on a beer most of the time, but like organizing stuff. The mum is hard as nails and really cool, but also very friendly.
Right.
Yeah, so it's a full family setup, right? And
That's
then yeah,
awesome.
you go out into the vineyards in the daytime, super early, and you get picking, which is obviously hard for the likes of the larger chaps such as myself.
Well, because
Uh,
it's sloped. I mean, it's you got
it's not crazy sloped
okay.
there. I mean, they're kind of like behind some hills, which means they get this kind of rain shadow,
Okay.
um, as in they don't get the rain. So
Right.
it's relatively dry, and actually it's been probably too dry the last few years.
Yep, that
And
makes sense.
certainly there's been a change as I think most places will attest to.
Sure.
It might be doing wonders for Muscadet and making it a touch warmer, but not so much for the Jura and Burgundy, you'd suggest. Yeah, and then you get all the grapes in. I mean, the worst vineyard is the No Horizon vineyard, they call it, because it's on a slight slope, and
So
you're
you
picking
never
it all
see.
day, and you're just like, it's never ending,
Wow.
You're like, when does this
Right.
bloody thing end? It's like a
Right.
mirage. You're like,
It just
is
keeps
that the
going.
end? You get over the hill, and there's a whole
Can't
other
quite
half.
see it. It's like, all right, yeah, that's crazy.
Um,
Now,
Yeah.
is there a problem over in Germany? Like I've read about it, and this is a while back, but with vineyards just going the way of the dodo, you know, like just because they don't have people to work them.
I don't know about that.
Okay.
I think certainly, actually, Michael Volko, who's in Franconia, talked about how there's less and less vineyards around there.
Well, and
Um,
yeah, and government schemes to like to buy up the land to actually make it productive and
I'm not sure about that, but
crop
I'll have
grow
a
up
look.
grapes and stuff. It has a very long German name, and I can't remember the whole thing. You know,
There's several words put together.
it's about 10. I think
Yeah,
it's basically it's telling you the life story with
yeah,
a word,
yeah.
right?
Sure. I mean, the
No,
main
not
problem I think for certainly Michael and Andy in Franconia is the extremes of weather more than anything. You know, it's kind
sure.
of they got hit by frost last year that killed 90% of their buds. You know, which is a painful. You know,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
Michael talked about how it's not. You know, he says it's like watching a car crash very slowly because those wines aren't being released yet. But when it is, he's like, you can see it coming, and the revenue
you
for the business. You know,
know, yeah.
yeah, it's like we haven't got anything to sell. Anyway, how's the wine tasting?
Oh, I haven't even gotten into it.
Oh,
I've
sorry.
been nosing it. Yeah.
You know, if memory serves, there's a bit of VA in that. You know, you've
Mm-hmm.
got the kind of lifted fruit, but then also it's much lighter. I think Dornfelder is one of those grapes that traditionally was color filler and
Oh, yeah.
um, you know, used to darken other varieties to make it look heavier, but with a light touch, is
Mhm.
fresh with good acidity.
Yeah, that acidity is right on top, but I mean it's super juicy. But it's like dark fruit driven, and it's not like yeah, that's a really nice wine. Does it have a little bit of trap CO2 in it typically, or is it
I mean,
is
could well do because I mean it's 40% carbon, 60%
right?
semi-carbonic,
I
so
mean,
it wouldn't
I'm looking
surprise
at
me.
a little bit
Yeah,
of
we got a little something going on there.
little edge, yeah, a little something, you know, just that spritz, like a
I mean,
little
yeah,
spritz
exactly.
in my red.
Yeah, I mean, you know, that's one of those things that I don't think freaks people out too much these days, and also it's not like a weird byproduct of anything wrong with it. Do you know what I mean? It's just
Right, and
that's the way it's
it
made,
doesn't
right?
it doesn't feel unnatural, or it doesn't feel like it shouldn't be there. You know, it's part of the
No,
juice. Like I think, and
yeah.
that's
And I
as
think
long as as long as they're not throwing in, you know, like soda streams and like
yeah, which
you
is
know,
not happening. But yeah,
prosecifying it.
I mean, if you if you try the new vintage, it would have had my feet in it. So
Oh, nice.
yeah,
Ever since I've met you, I've been waiting to taste your feet, man.
which
Like
one drinks
I
with your
tell
feet
you,
in it?
yeah. The first thing I thought when I saw you, I was like, man, I bet his feet stomp some mighty
His
fine
feet
grapes.
wine smells good.
Yeah. Excellent. Yeah, so I've got their Muller Turgau too, which I'll be trying. Now typically I'm not a huge fan of Muller Turgau, and that's probably the reasons that I'm not necessarily the guy that goes for Viognier. You know, like it kind of does. You know,
Yeah,
like I think it's hard to make. I think it's hard to make
yeah.
right.
I mean, also it's a bit of a bugger to look after because
Mm.
it's super
Here, I'll do this.
leafy.
I'll do the look. I've
Oh
got.
yeah, nice.
Ooh.
Um, a super leafy kind of varietal. So,
Okay.
and obviously the guys who like to farm in this sort of way, you know, you want to leave a bit of the leaf on and not take too much off. But then you do have the issue of mildew,
Sure.
which Murtoga is also quite susceptible to. So the combination of those two things being quite leafy and also just being susceptible in general, I mean, it's a bit of a bugger.
Right.
You know, so the extra leaves, when there is rain and then sun, which will be happening a fair bit in Germany,
Sure.
means that you get humidity within the sort of structure of the vine.
Yeah. So it kind of
So you've
creates
got
its own
like
climate.
exactly. So
Yeah.
the humidity gets stuck within the foresty leaves,
Wow.
and so you got humid grapes, which is not what you want because that is what provokes rot.
Sure. Now, typically, I mean, if you have a grape that is susceptible in that kind of way, you'd look for a place that's got a lot of wind coming through it, right?
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah,
So I would imagine. I mean, this is this the one? No, I'm thinking of a different wine. I think I did a little bit of research. I tried to come prepared. You know, like I tried to show up and actually know like a little bit. I've been out of the game so long.
oh,
I'm actually just excited to be talking to anybody. Like, you know, it's like, oh, dude, I got a thing, and I can talk about this. Here we go.
but yeah, that was sort of 5 days whole bunch.
Okay.
So definitely got some skins in there. You know, and you know, I know you said Viognier, but I think we've got like 60-year-old vines here. It's 10.5% alcohol.
Right.
They're obviously picking a lot earlier.
It's a
But
different thing.
stylistically, they're kind of, you know, looking for something way fresher.
Yeah.
And then it's, you know, it's not getting influenced by any new oak or anything like that. I think it's gone to 500-liter old German oak barrels.
Okay.
But like, I mean, we're talking old, so it's not going to be imparting anything.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, it's got an amazing
Yeah.
haze to it. Like it's
Yeah, for sure.
it's
There's definitely
really
some bits in it.
yeah. No, and I can't wait to crack it open. I'm doing, yeah. I mean, with all these, I mean, the labels are just so appetizing. You know, you're just like, I'm like, ooh, this looks cool. This looks cool. And as I as I was looking at them, I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna have a lot of fun. So yeah,
A lot of fun in the shed.
It's what happens. We have fun in the shed. And one time, and next time you're down here, I'll have you over. We'll we'll just.
Let's give it.
Oh, thanks, man. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. I get to record and play music and stuff out here and do all that.
Nice. You said you got a couple of kids as well.
Yeah, I got 2 kids. I got a 5-year-old. This is my space. Yeah, I had to make the other side an office for my wife. But you know, yeah, it's like, you know, there's definitely a line you can tell like where my end starts. It's like rock posters and, you know, like that whole thing. And then I tried to make it so like if she was on a video call that she wouldn't look like she was just a stoner or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, that's awesome. I'll get right on that spreadsheet. Yeah. So
cool.
You know, I don't care as much about that because I'm in the wine business. You know, that's it's a different thing.
You want,
That's damn fine. I like that a lot. So yeah, so this is 10.5. I mean, we're looking. Is it still like? Does it have that body to it, or is it?
No, it's not as rich, and you know, it's got obviously it's been on skins a bit as well, so it's kind of like that high acidity, you know, and the skins kind of add to that. I think.
Sure.
Gives it a bit of texture, but not in the same sort of weighty alcohol way.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah. I mean, that's absolutely what I'd be looking for. I don't know. I'm falling in love with these guys. I think you're onto something. With these guys.
They're great, and you know, their range of wines is interesting because like they put most of their kind of crop into the Wildersats, and it's basically only, let's say, the highest quality whites vineyards that will be. So there's not actually much of the Müller-Thurgau made. Müller-Thurgau pur made. There's not much of their Riesling pur made. There's not much of their Pinot Blanc pur made. Most of them go into the Wildersats, and it's just like they're super selective about.
Okay.
The grapes.
So you really are getting the best of the best with if
so this is their best Müller-Thurgau they have. And they'll be
cool.
on the side of the hill where they have their sort of crew sites, which is Monastery and Holy Chapel. And this will just be a bit further away, if I remember rightly.
Nice.
So there is a little hill behind Bockenheim on the Weinstrasse, which is literally Bockenheim on the Wine Street.
It is. On the Wine Street.
The Weinstrasse does run sort of about 200 miles, I think, from near Frankfurt down to where they are.
Okay.
And I arrived at about 11 at night to Bockenheim on the Weinstrasse, which doesn't have a station name. So you just kind of have to go, the train's telling you the right stop. And I was just like knackered after traveling all day, waiting for my corona test in the airport. Some sort of wunderkind child just stuffing a thing down my throat and telling me, Marcos, you must more. Like, you're enjoying this a bit too much.
Could you do that again? Could you do that one more time? Just Germany.
There's the money shot.
We were talking about the tea bags.
Quite. So it's kind of it's a cool place. But so they're in the town, and then they're in Holy Chapel, which is literally just an old chapel. I was like, oh wait, here we go. I've got this. I know the wine. Holy Chapel, there it is. Yep, it's that one. And then there's Monastery as well, which you can imagine.
It has red.
But it's small and very nice there. But so those vineyards are on more of a slope, and then there's sort of more stuff in the valley to the east of the winery. But
that's cool.
They're great.
Do you
great
speak German?
Absolutely not. But I mean, if you just speak English in a German accent, you can't really be halfway there, right?
As long as, I do it sometimes. My wife gets upset.
You do that horrible.
Well, she's half Austrian, so it's like, you know, I don't know. She thinks I'm making fun of her people. When really, I'm making fun of everybody. That's
Yeah,
that's
and yourself in a way, because
it's not
we're
personal. I just like
yeah,
having fun with my voice.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Well, that's really cool, man. Okay, so I am. So you would say shake this one.
Yeah, shake. You don't even have to wait. I think the reason they put weight on the back is because someone did a shook and didn't wait when they previously just had shake on it with one of their pet nats. But I think if you're that stupid, then you probably deserve everything you get.
Well, a little
Shake
wet
up something
face.
that's
Who hasn't done it?
carbonated.
Yeah.
It's gonna blow up, right?
Who hasn't done it before? Yeah, that's
Oh
right.
yeah.
Is that why it's wines under the car bonnet? Is that
Yeah.
or under the bonnet? Is it? So, so next up, we've got this fun little number, which I think is really cool. I was looking up. I was looking up Kerma. The first thing that came up was this a physics term, and
Okay.
it was about like it was Kelvin something 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 per and it was like, oh, all right, that's probably not what they're talking about, but it
Oh,
would
I'm
be
good.
kind of
It's
cool,
fine.
like.
Yeah. I mean, maybe it's beyond me if it is.
All right, right on.
So this is complementaire.
Okay.
Um, so
Complementaire. That's
yeah,
cool. Oops.
It's Manu Landron and his wife Marion. It's very much a partnership. They're sort of childhood sweethearts.
Cool.
Emmanuel is the son of Joe Landron, who is a big Muscadet producer.
That's right.
He's the one who's got the massive tash that looks sick. And he sort of has, I think he's up at like 55. I mean, he's like a natural winemaker, organic winemaker, kind of, borders of these things.
Sure.
And he, huge tash. Get a visual of him because he's awesome looking. But anyway, this is Manu and his wife, Marion. And Joe had sort of 55 hectares or something, or still has actually. And basically, Manu wanted to get into wine and did a lot of training around the world, but basically didn't want to take on the family estate because he never got to see his dad, because it takes basically more of a salesman than a winemaker at that stage for that side of the state. You kind of employ people to make the wine. So he was out around the world selling wine.
Right.
Manu didn't want to be like that. He's with his child sweetheart. They want to have a nice life as well. I mean, they've got 9 hectares, which is not nothing to manage with 2 people.
Wow.
I'd be looking to look after about 2.5 if it was me on my own. But yeah, so they work organically and with biodynamic principles as well, though they don't sort of adhere to all of it necessarily.
Okay.
They're in Le Palais. It's kind of southeast of Nantes, where there's quite a few sort of winemakers that we work with.
Cool.
And what's quite nice about they're sort of 95% of their vines are Melon de Bourgogne, so Muscadet. 5% is is Fol Blanche. They make a gorgeous Fol Blanche called 68 Ares, which I think it's 0.68 of a hectare, so tiny amount of land, and it's a great wine actually, but we've run out of it because I like it a lot. But this is also delicious. And so you have, what's quite nice is that they have about 5 or 6 different cuvées of Melon de Bourgogne.
Okay, cool.
Within 500, within sort of 500 meters of each other.
Okay.
I can send you a map I've got somewhere knocked about that they made for us.
That'd be way cool. Yeah.
No worries. And they do the same winemaking for each of the plots, right?
So they're really expressing terroir. Like they're
exactly, right? So you've got different exposition, slightly different terroir, same winemaking, and that's really exposes the terroir. Yeah, like you said. So Kerma is at sort of on the second half of a plot, which has Croix Morisseau above it. I don't know if you've tried Croix Morisseau.
No, not yet.
Cool. Which is their sort of, well, I say entry, they're all sort of similarly priced, sort of 10 to 12 quid on or £13 wholesale. So Croix Morisseau is higher up, a bit more steep, on Orthogneiss and sandstone.
Okay.
Whereas Kerma is slightly further down a hill, and sort of the micro change in the terroir as it is that there's a lot more amphibolite, so at the bottom, so amphibious stuff through it. Yeah.
Amphibolites. That makes me sound so smart.
Yeah. I'm like, then don't ask me to explain amphibolite.
Is it fossils?
I think there's a bit more fossil, but I'll have to have a proper
I mean, being
investigation.
amphibolites, is it more like different
Or
kinds of
frogs.
animal? Well, that's what I'm
That's
thinking,
what
right?
I mean. I'm assuming that's why it's called
It's
Kerma.
Kerma. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Um, so yeah, it's a nice one. I mean, sorry, I should have sent you a Quamo Sorry to have a taste against, but yeah, it's an interesting way of doing things.
Yeah.
They just direct press everything. Obviously, handpicked again. I mean, that goes without saying pretty much with
Sure,
all
sure.
our winemakers. And then it's a stainless steel for about 7 or 8 months once it's been racked.
Very cool.
They have a touch of sulfur when they have to because they're a business, basically.
Yeah.
But I mean, we're talking, we're still within the Van Nature sort of region of sulfur additions. So I think this has got like 25, 30 milligrams per liter or something.
Okay, cool.
So, we're not over that. And I think, it's
Well, and
one of
it's
those
supposed to
things
be a
where,
fresh style, right? Like, I mean, that's kind of the thing. So to keep it that way.
yeah, for sure. But what I would say about their wines is that, and maybe it's just Muscadet in general, is there's a bit more warmth.
Okay.
They have, I think, what I really like about wines is they've got really good, like, coiled sort of tension to them. However, there's also a bit of weight to go with that. And that is probably due to climate change. Sorry, bear with me.
Right. Not at all. Yeah, it's cool. I've had a couple of Muscadets that I've been impressed by. Like, I think that was the first area that I tried something that was aged in chestnut barrels or something like that. And
Right.
I can't even remember. This was way before I knew anything about wine, but like I knew that was cool for some reason. Like I was like, that's different.
It's interesting. Like, I don't know if I've ever tasted anything in chestnut.
Okay.
Not maybe, I don't remember.
I mean, it was so profoundly woody. That was the thing. Like it sapped a lot out of it, and I wouldn't necessarily. It was definitely not a Muscadet. Like, it's not one that I would say, oh yeah, it's a Muscadet. You couldn't call it, but like it was definitely like a kind of it was a novelty.
When you try like acacia barreled stuff,
Sure.
Quite often, like, I bump into it a lot in sort of Czech wine and stuff.
Yeah, and Italy, they're starting to use some
Northern
of that
Italy
stuff,
as well, yeah. Which is not too
kind
far away.
Right, Slovenia and all that.
Yeah, exactly.
Places, yeah.
And they sort of talk. They talk about how acacia doesn't impart anything, but
I think that's total bullshit.
Yeah, I can always tell. I'm like,
yeah, it's like it tastes like acacia.
That resiny kind of vibe to it, and it's like it reminds me a bit of my Greek heritage, drinking fucking not raki,
Retsina, yeah, sure,
not
yeah.
Bad stuff, but
it's not quite piney like that, but it's like it's almost it's sappy. There's something sappy in it. Yeah, no, I get it. Yeah,
I'm always like tasting with the. I don't know if you've come across Yuri at Basket Press, but his wines is always like, oh, acacia doesn't do anything. I'm like, mate, give me 10 wines. From your 10 wines, I'm going to pick the 4 which have acacia, just like.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not that I'm any sort of blind taster, but like.
No, but it would be fun to kind of do, because it feels like, I don't know. I feel like acacia does have. That's funny that people say that. I don't think I've ever heard that, which is interesting. But is that why people use acacia?
What's that, sorry?
Is that why people use acacia? Huh.
Well, that's what he was telling me, but he might be talking shit. So,
there we go.
we often do. So
it's a fun game. Fake it till you make it, or even if you make it, it's a little bit of fun.
Yeah.
Right on. So this one is the most orange of them, isn't it? Of the ones you sent me? Yeah. Okay. And so Fanny Papillard and Romain Plagioles. Plagiol. Right, of course. Yeah. But that's
north of the border here. We're in Gaillac. We're not that close to Spain, mate.
I was gonna say, sorry. Right. It's a Plagioles. No, it's not a Plagioles.
You just gotta do the funny accent and remember his French.
Anywhere you go, right?
Plagiol. I mean, that's not as fast.
It's a Plagioles. Yeah. See, now he's German or something.
So well, you probably, I don't know if you come across the Plagioles as a name before. I mean, they're a dynasty of winemakers in Gaillac, right?
That's what I understand. Yeah, I
And
haven't,
it's
or
sort
maybe I
of
have without
this
knowing.
these labels, fists
Right.
with wine glasses.
Okay.
Yeah, like they're quite iconic labels that you'd recognise them if
I'll
if it
keep an eye
wasn't
out
just
for
me
that.
doing that. Yeah, have a look. Yeah, so this is their son, Romain, and his wife. Again,
Okay,
it's
cool.
like very much a couple doing this.
We like that.
Yeah, so I think they've got basically got 2 hectares as far as I understand it. And he still works for the family as well, but this is their like little side project for them to do together. So it's
Very
P
nice.
and P, and therefore they're 2P. It's very
Right.
romantic.
So it's 2P
Um,
production. Is that the house name?
that's their name within the negotiation within the business, I guess.
Cool.
Even though it's the grapes from their own family.
Right, right.
But
But
you know
they
how these things work in France. If it's different company name, you got fucking anyway. Yeah. French
yeah.
bureaucracy, red tape, bollocks. I mean, they'll never change it because they'll be like, we can't be asked to go through the
Well, you'd
75
have to,
pages
exactly right. Yeah, it would take 100 years just
try
to
and change
undo like
anything.
anything,
You know,
right? Yeah.
no, we set it up. Let's just crack on. So yeah, this is Sauvignon Blanc and Landeloy,
Right.
which is an indigenous grape to the area. Luan de Loy. So like LOINDEL''OEIL. Lots of vowels. Tricky if you speak London English like me.
I mean, I'm American, man. Like, come on. Like, I pronounce everything wrong over here. Like, that's loin de l'oil.
Yeah, nailed it.
Perfect.
So yeah, Enclave and limestone, the classic sort of French
Right.
terroir. The grapes are destemmed and then pressed, and then it's sort of cold fermented for 5 or 6 days on the skins, and it's all in stainless steel. I don't think they're doing any pishage or anything.
Okay. So
Um,
it's all
so it's
straight, pretty
relatively
much straight away.
soft, sort of orange, although it's got a bit of depth to it.
Yeah.
It's got a bit of age, and yeah, it kind of reminded me when it first landed. It felt a bit bigger and a little less in sync with itself. It's really come
Okay.
around in the last sort of few months. And when it landed, felt quite heavy and almost sort of quite northern Italian, like when we talk about Slovenian kind of orange.
Sure.
But it's fresher than that, and it's got nice sort of herbal notes that you'd want from an orange wine.
Yeah, cool.
But not, it's an orange wine rather than the Müller-Thurgau, which is to me like a skinty white wine, or like a
Right.
modern style white wine. This is like
Okay.
an orange wine.
Sure.
And you have like that slightly confected thing going on as well, and ripe fruit, bruised
Nice.
sort of pear, but like it does have that herbal thing too.
That kick. Sure. That's cool.
Super
Well,
delicious.
and you'd say chill this one down. Like,
I was actually trying it yesterday with tasting, and I opened it. It was way too cold. I actually almost have it room temp. Like I'd have it
Yeah.
at red wine temp. Like 10 to 12 degrees.
Sure.
Because otherwise you kind of lose those aromatics and that herbal thing, and it's a bit of a shame. And if you have it too cold, you get the tannin, and it's just
cool.
better like room
So
temp.
play with that at more room temperature. All right, cool.
Or even stuck it in the fridge and then see it progress. It's one of those wines that sits open quite nicely as well. So like day 2 or 3, you get like a bit more solidity, and it does evolve.
Oh well, yeah, I'll let that one develop. I mean, the alcohol's pretty high in it, and I imagine the acidity is okay. Like with your Sauvignon Blanc, like so you've got structure to keep it for a little while. That's cool.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so I'll see what I've been doing. So I've been doing this whole moderation management thing, right?
Yeah, sure.
And what that is basically you don't get over 0.55 blood alcohol or whatever.
What's that?
For it depends on how big you are or how you metabolize alcohol. Yeah, you'd be all right. Don't worry about it. You're fine. Yeah.
Put a bottle down.
Right. Well, I mean, so I can have 4 drinks over 4 hours.
Can't you do 4 in 1 hour and then just be pissed?
Well, I mean, it's about having drinks in between, right? No, absolutely. Hey, man, you're a salesman. I get it. It's fine. Like, I'm on the same thing. I'm just trying to figure out the other thing because I don't know if I told you, or I don't know if you heard. I broke my leg like a few months back, like after a heavy night out, and I'd never broken a bone in my whole life, and I don't remember how it happened. So I was like, all right, let's just like dial things back a bit here. And so I'm playing it a little
year as well for the low drinking. I mean, I've only drunk like 6 times this year, to be honest.
Like
6 or 7 times this year.
Yeah, cool.
Like this calendar year. No, sorry, since December.
Yeah, sure.
Because yeah, I mean, last year, like the first lockdown, I was just like,
I think
before I
everybody
was
just
working
went
for
for
the
it, man.
bonnet, I was on, whatever it's called, furlough, and I was,
Furlough.
it was like you go out for a long walk and then you like get to 6 and you're like, what to
It's
do
time.
now?
Yeah, right.
Got another 5 hours of being awake, so yeah, and
Yeah, it's and
being
with the
manager of a
family.
restaurant in London, I could order like wholesale price wine off our suppliers, and they were chill. Well, happy to have the business. So,
No, absolutely,
um,
absolutely. No, and I mean,
so I
I
was getting
was.
through shitloads of wine. And I was living with like 5 other people, and everyone else was dipping into the. I mean, you know how these things
I
sort of.
do. Yeah, absolutely. No,
As
it's one of
clearly
those.
as you've got had a broken leg, you know how they can escalate.
Dude, yeah, and it's a bad scene. And so, like with the family and everything, it's just I gotta pony up, you know.
No,
So
completely. How's the leg? You in plasters? No, you're gonna be in plaster still.
no, so that happened in November, and I had surgery at the beginning of December. I have 7 pins or 7
Oh, right.
screws. I've got a plate in my leg. Like I did some good proper damage to it.
Yeah, that's
Like
proper damage. Yeah.
yeah, so I'm going through physio right now and like trying to get it right, but the tendons are all like trying to reform and learn what the hell they're doing again and all that. So
Mate.
so yeah, it's been a huge wake up call for me, and it's one of those
Yeah.
things, like I'm trying to do this as the best way possible, and I'm trying to feel good, and that's kind of the whole thing. So yeah, so that's the reason I didn't want to like crack open a bunch of these bottles, because I didn't want to have like I'll finish a bottle over 2 nights. It's kind of my thing, like I'll have a half a bottle and that'll be okay. But it's still like, but I only drink 4 days a week too, if at most. So it's like budgeting my drinking days, so I can't open 3 bottles or else I'm just gonna like waste wine, and I hate that.
Yeah,
So
that's always bad.
so I appreciate you doing this, because it's like, okay, now I can get the idea, and then I'll show you.
Yeah,
I'll tag you like crazy in videos and stuff of me talking about these wines. What's next? This one we did the Flora for the most part. We talked about Dornfelder.
Yeah.
Now this one's really interesting to me, and I'm curious about. It's Grolio and Cab Franc, right?
So,
or is that this one?
It's actually 7 varietals.
7? I was way off.
To be honest, the information on Machu is quite limited.
Okay.
So, as far as I know, it's Gamay, which has been destemmed.
Okay.
And macerated for 3 weeks on the skins. Then there's Grollo and Cab Franc. And then another 4 hybrids. Like literally with names like Hybrid 54, 55 and shit like that.
Okay.
And those were all done whole bunch semi-carbo between 3 days and 3 weeks to his choice. He can't remember how long each one was done for.
Okay.
He does it all in a shed. Like this guy is the vigneron, right? He's into music. He's like mad as a bag of frogs.
Love it.
Yeah, like wild man of the Loire.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm down with that.
And then he actually topped it up with a little bit of Chenin.
Okay.
I mean, this is like as about juicy, fun, silly wine as you can get.
Cool.
Have it with a friend in a park. It will disappear in about 4 minutes.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. He's really into the music scene. He's like I think when Alex, I can't remember the exact story, but when Alex went last, he had like this weird, like, there's a bit of our blog actually. He had this weird rig that set up of like music and lights to talk to the wine in his garage.
Nice. I dig that. Yeah.
Maybe some of that as well.
That's my thing, man. I'm down. Right. I like this guy already. I'm gonna love this wine.
Like, he seems cool. And he's got these like cool old sort of manual presses that look like they're on their sides rather than sitting up.
Okay.
It's kind of bizarre looking. Look, like when you see a pneumatic press, like one with a balloon inside.
Yeah.
It kind of looks like that, but then the internal framework is like a basket press.
Okay. So does he push them? Does it push sideways?
I'm a bit confused, to be totally honest.
Okay.
And it hasn't been explained. no one
You haven't seen
said.
it in action,
But
okay.
yeah, exactly. I've just seen a still, and it's like, hold on, what the fuck is going on there?
You need to
And
rotate the picture.
yeah, yeah. But you know what you get with that and slow pressings is like, you know, and I think it's more evident in the Chenin, which we were pretty low on, so I didn't send you a bottle,
Okay, cool.
which is also delicious.
Yeah.
If a touch more serious,
Okay.
in a way. What you get with that is like a softer extraction, I guess,
Right.
which is delicious. But yeah, this has got really great acidity and it's just good fun. It has that Chenin to keep it zippy, and his Chenin is zippy. You know, we're not harvesting late. We're kind of, although he does have a bit of sweet wine.
Okay.
As well, but his Chenin is interesting. It's like it's got this almost like bottle-sized fruit. It's almost like he picked it twice. I mean, this is just me like drinking it and like not if I didn't know any information about the wine, this would be my guess.
Right.
But it's almost got like, it's got crazy high acidity, right, on the palate. But then the fruit is like almost that sort of botcha-sized thing of like almond.
Yeah.
And you're like, how can those two things be in sync with each other? Because you're not going to get that acid from that fruit.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, sure.
It's like you picked in fucking August and then picked in November.
Yeah.
10%.
Yeah,
Anyway,
crazy.
That's just kind of, I was like that. Yeah, he's a really interesting guy.
That's awesome.
If
All right, well, definitely, I'm looking forward to that too. Would you chill this one down a little bit?
Oh yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Chilled.
Yeah, definitely.
I love chilled wine. Love chilled reds. Right on.
Oh yeah. Now, I mean, we're coming into that time of year, hopefully as well.
It is, yeah, and I think so many more people are getting on board with it, which I'm so stoked about. Just because it's a delicious way to enjoy something that, you know, and it gives a not novelty to it, but it kind of increases just like the pleasure aspect of it. I think, you know, so yeah, easily. Completely. And I think that's kind of a fun way to kind of go with that. Oh, this is the Grollo. How do you say it? You know, so Grollo. Yeah. All right. I was wondering if we were massacring it the same way, or if I was.
You just have a sexy voice in his French, right?
Oh, it's Grollo. It's Grollo. Grollo.
Yeah. So these guys. So I guess the cool place to start about these guys. So these guys are L'Austral. Again, we're another couple. It's Pauline Morin and Laurent Troubat.
Yep.
They've got 4.5 hectares and they're organic, using biodynamic principles, but not on the label, as it were. Basically, can't be asked to pay for it. And they're in summer Puy Notre Dame, or Notre Dame, I should say. Notre Dame would be the American way of saying it, I guess.
Notre Dame. That's right. The fighting Irish, man. You got
college football, right?
It's
college football. Is that Notre Dame?
Yeah, it is. It's Ivy League, man. Notre Dame. So look up the movie Rudy. It's really inspiring, you know. it's great.
So she worked at Mellerick, which is another of the guys we work with.
Yeah, you know what? I tried their anciens the other week and really enjoyed it. Like really enjoyed it. I thought that was way cool.
It makes some like proper big Chenin and like a good acidity, and it's sexy stuff. I mean,
check that out.
Well up my street.
So that's her family. It was the globules.
Globules. Oh, yeah. the sparkling pink. Yeah, I mean that's good fun, that stuff.
I think we did that for Valentine's Day, actually.
Yeah, I mean that stuff in the sun is just like juice.
I mean, easy. Yeah, it was.
Yeah, too easy. Far too easy. Dangerous. Yeah.
Exactly. You know, and I live for flirting with danger now, not actually being in danger. That's. It feels lame.
On the outside side of danger.
You know, yeah. Hey, look, I'm gonna drive something with a lot of airbags now. That's where I'm
at. So there's a chap called Philippe Gordon.
Okay.
In the area, and we actually used to import his wine. He's retired now, because he must be in his late 70s or something. But he actually got the appellation sort of pushed through the Puy Notre Dame.
What was his last
and
name?
he
Gordon.
Gordon.
Yep.
His like Gourdon, Philippe.
Okay, cool.
He had his wines were called Chateau de Tourgris. I don't know if you come across them, but like it was banging Cab Franc. And and I had the luck and pleasure to drink some 97s, some 99s, and some 2001s, which were all the 2099 was a bit buggered.
Okay.
The other vintages were absolutely cracking.
Yeah, they're cool.
When
you get those
it had
older.
20 years, so it's fair enough. And they still had acidity and freshness and stuff like that, but quite stemmy and classic but not classic, right?
Right, sure.
Like, he
Classic
was
in
messing
age,
around.
but maybe not the way they present. Right.
Yeah. Um, yeah. So, and then he gave his vineyards to these guys and to
Okay.
Mellowick. He passed them on to the right people, kind of, I think. And so he's been working these vineyards since like 97 biodynamically.
Okay.
And they are sort of the local tufa is like fossil rich limestone, and that characterizes the area and the architecture and all that kind of stuff. And that is the difference and why I think they got the appellations, because that is different to
Right.
like summer proper. I can't remember what the sort of terroir is there, but there's a difference basically between the two,
Sure.
and that comes through. Yeah, and so yeah, he took on. Yeah, so they took on his vines. This wine is their sort of entry level wine, I guess.
Okay.
They were moving house, and it came with a couple of hectares, and they wanted to buy the place. They weren't really sure, so they just bought the grapes actually initially.
Okay.
And then went and bought the house a year later, so last year.
Okay.
So it's a blend between 50-50 between 30-year-old Grollo and Cab Franc.
Yeah.
The Grollo was fermented whole bunch in one tank, and then the Cab Franc was pressed directly into another.
Nice.
So, and what Pauline says, is that. Sorry, I'm just reading what her email to us. So she learned this trick from a guy called Jean-Philippe Padier, who's in the Roussillon.
Okay.
And he sort of showed them that it was, particularly with heat, like weather climatically getting hotter, sort of doing a carbonic thing.
Right.
For one of the varieties, just kept freshness. And it's a way to keep freshness and acidity in the wine. Because
Interesting.
yeah. So, and I think that's the way a lot of those Loire sort of that area of the Loire, rather than Loire Atlantic guys, is moving because of the pressure of climate change, I guess.
Yeah, it's interesting. Like if you vinify it differently like that, then yeah, and then you keep that kind of that youthful, and I guess people's palates are going a little bit more youthful, or have been for a long time. So to have that little bit of that confected kind of character in there would be appealing.
I mean, this one definitely does, whilst having good acidity, but you still have that sort of spice of the Grollo, which is really nice. And obviously, Grollo is great for acidity as well.
Yeah,
and Cab Franc is Cab Franc, so
Cab Franc, yeah,
it's not to like.
Yeah, exactly.
Although lots of people hate it, but
I don't know, man. I don't like those people. I think they haven't had the red Cab Franc. It's like the people who hate Merlot, or it's like people who hate,
I tried some semi-carbonic Merlot from a potential new winemaker in Rheinhessen yesterday.
Okay.
Did not taste like Merlot.
Yeah,
well,
but
I mean, actually, once you knew it was Merlot, it kind of became obvious.
Right.
Like the fruit on the nose, but it was like super good acid and like fresh and dingy and like
So they picked really early and then did the
and then went semi-carbonic and just and
nice.
Not sort of facilitating the want to go.
Yeah, no, exactly. I mean, and I've had some Italian Merlots that are just like ridiculously good, but they're all meaty and they've had, at least 8 years of bottle age in them. And, you get that kind of character. And I think those are the ones that people don't look at. You think of Merlot as like Chilean Merlot that you get at the grocery store. And it's like, well, that's not really what it is,
Like, I had some amazing stuff, West Coast Merlot from when I was working at Portland.
Oh, I bet.
his dad used to have a real fascination with American wine. So
Yeah, that's cool.
I'm trying to remember who.
I mean,
But
I've
like
had,
still high alcohol stuff, like Height Cellar
yeah,
and
yeah. I'm trying to think what we used to sell. I used to sell is it Castle Rock? No,
rings a
Castle
bell.
something.
It's Castle something. What's the
Yeah.
one that's Ode to Picasso? Have you ever drunk that wine?
Which one?
Ode to Picasso.
No, I haven't tried that one.
It's Zinfandel. It was like I tried 95 or something. It was like 17% alcohol, but
Yeah, God.
it was pretty
Right.
banging.
Yeah, you just hope that integrates at that point,
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
I'm gonna
exactly.
give
After
this
that,
25 years, then we'll see how it
fucking
goes.
needed it.
Right,
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, it's like that Montarius stuff. Like, yeah,
yeah.
yeah, like you jump it into Tanat, that's like the biggest thing, baddest thing you've ever
Yeah,
had. If it doesn't
yeah,
have 2 decades in it, it's not even like approachable. Yeah.
yeah. Just knock you off your chair kind of vibe. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. You got to chew through it.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I
Yeah.
mean, so this is the same, What is the alcohol now? Just remind me since you got it in
13
front
and
of
a half. It's not
you.
too bad. It's
Yeah, I mean,
relatively
yeah.
relatively approachable, I'd say.
It'd be interesting to see alcohol contents of wines in 2020, I think. All
Well,
over.
yeah, right, and I mean the way people are compensating for it, and the like if you're doing that semi-carbonic thing, or if you're doing other things to, and what'll be interesting to me is to see how people arise from the ashes. Like you get people who are doing some interesting things and who are actually reacting to it because they're allowed to. The laws don't necessarily dictate what they have to do to it. So I think this is the time where there's going to be a huge sea change in the industry, especially with everybody being on lockdown. So it'll be kind of like a
Yeah,
punctuated, like this is a change. Now we've got an opportunity to do something with it.
yeah. I mean, I was looking at some Jura wines from the 80s. So Levan that I used to run was like a Jura focused sort of wine list.
Well, that's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, not cheap.
No, 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 no.
We had like about 140 Jura bins.
Wow.
So serious
Yeah, it's expensive and tough to get
selective
a hold of.
stock.
Where did you buy from?
Oh, all over the place. So I
Yeah,
mean,
you'd
look
have
up the
to.
brand, obviously.
Yeah.
Vine Trail, Valentin Morel was Kiff My Wines.
Do Yap Brothers do a lot of that?
I never used Jack Brothers,
No.
just because they're well. I've never worked with them, to be honest. Um,
That almost went dark, I think.
no, nothing like that. Actually, I know a guy who works there, Simon. He used to work at Domain Direct, but
Okay.
yeah, I don't know, not quite on the wilder side enough for me
Sure,
in
sure,
general.
sure, sure. I mean, they've got
Um,
they've got some niche things like Treveillon. I think you could get through them, and Grange de Père and things, but like not,
nice, yeah,
yeah, which is kind
yeah.
of fun. Um,
But yeah, so I was looking because I obviously keep up an interest in this. Like, I was looking at some offers from 18s in the Jura, and there was whites that not only had got very, very expensive, but also even more than they were, but also very, very hot in terms of alcohol. I mean, we're talking like 14.5%, and that's what they're saying on the label, right? So
wow, man. Yeah.
could be
So
15.
yeah, easy
Do you know
15.
what I mean?
Sure.
Which is terrifying because there's some winemakers that I really love. Like I went to Les Dolomies and
Yeah.
spent some time with them a couple of years back, and
Nice.
they're gorgeous people. And they came to Levan and had lunch and stuff when they were last over there. And
Oh,
but
cool.
you look at the heat, and they're aware that they need to be picking early. So it's not like they're trying to make these wines massive.
Right.
They know what their thing is, but they don't
But they
seem
just
to be able
can't pick any earlier,
to
or else
get the
they.
ripeness. But yeah, I don't know what happened.
Yeah,
And
it's
then
tricky, man.
there's a few wineries that seem to be I mean, I haven't tried these wines, right? So I'm be very happy to be proved wrong. But like when you get into late
Right.
14s in terms of white wines, it's just a bit scary, isn't it?
Well, and especially when it's supposed to be kind of delicate. I mean, Jura is all about that, like delicately oxidated kind of, like a little bit lighter side, with power,
So
but
you
not
do with
necessarily
really
like.
good, powerful acidity though, as well.
Yeah,
And you
yeah,
want
yeah,
that's
exactly. And you
being
can't
there.
really, yeah,
It'd be I mean, if they're high alcohol and have the acidity to rein it in, then I can get on board. But I don't know if I've ever tried a wine that's 15% white that is also
that
got
you
amazing
haven't been able
acidity.
to tell, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, huh? Well,
yeah.
damn, dude. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely an interesting time, and I love what you guys are doing because you are finding those little pockets, and that's why I was so excited to to have your generosity, you know, like you give me these wines. That's
I mean,
amazing.
like, you know, if I think there's something that runs through our collective palate, but certainly Alex and Basil's, who started the business, is that we're always looking for high acid, freshness,
Yeah,
really,
yeah,
and
absolutely.
intensity as well. But like, I think, you know, that is, I guess, the modern style as well. But I mean, like, you can never say that high acid isn't a good thing. Like, do you know what I mean?
It's wine.
It's
It's
like, what,
tart.
did you
That's the
like
whole
wine
point.
that's flabby? Like,
Right.
is
Yeah.
that what you're after? Like,
Go have
obviously, if
some
you're
Malbec.
Viognier, the good ones are going to be the ones that are in balance with high acid. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
exactly. Right. You might not notice, but it's there. You know, even
well,
sweet
exactly.
wines.
It's
Right.
making
Like,
that
give me a break.
massively weighty wine taste good.
Yeah.
Because I can,
Exactly.
you know, I can drink some Guigal and enjoy it, but
Yeah.
even if it is quite
Yeah.
oaky and
Some of them.
fat,
Some
but
of them. Some of them. I mean, you
some
know,
of them, yeah,
I like
I've
the
had some
Bruny
bad ones.
Blonde. And
Yeah,
again,
sure.
with age in that Giga kind of area, you know.
Yeah, exactly. You need a bit of age, right? You don't want to
And
open that up.
he's got a place in history, so I'm fine with that. You know?
Yeah, for sure.
I don't know. I just got defensive of him for some reason.
It's all right.
Like, yeah.
I'll say I liked it.
We'll have a bottle of it sometime. I'm trying to think
Yeah,
what
yeah.
I've got around. Actually, yeah. Well, if you come down here, I've got some fun stuff stowed away, so we could do
Nice
that.
one. Yeah.
Yeah, man. Hey, it was
Um,
super cool talking to you, dude. I'm gonna
that was our
run in
last
because
one.
I gotta.
Nice.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. I got them all.
All right, nice one, man.
Pokemon. I
Well,
could
I
do
hope
this all
there's
night,
enough
though.
enough interesting stuff in there rather than me
Oh,
waffling on.
totally.
But
No. And I mean, like I said, I do these little wine videos, and you know, I can usually turn them around in a couple of days, but we'll see how much time I have, and I'll start pumping them out. I'm gonna call this new series "Wines Under the Bonnet," you know, or natural wine, something, I don't know, but we'll do that, and I'll probably take little clips of this and, you know, use that along the way, or, you know, might post this whole thing up on YouTube. Your friendly neighborhood sommelier is is
yeah,
my
yeah.
my
Sorry,
handle and all that stuff. So, hey,
yeah.
man, awesome. So cool of you to talk to me, and I really appreciate it. You know, and I can't wait to see you again. You know, like have you down, and we'll
Yeah,
do a proper
in
tasting,
real
like
life.
with the team and stuff. Yeah, in real life, exactly right. Yeah, not just ones and zeros.
Yeah.
All right, man. Much
Nice one. Have a
love.
good evening.
You take care.